I can usually tell why someone's sales slowed down within 5 minutes of looking at their Etsy stats, and it's almost never the stat that they're worried about. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Sarah, and I help Etsy sellers use their data to build consistent sales on Etsy without constantly changing their shop every time something looks off. And that's what I want to talk to you about today because there are a few Etsy stats that cause way more reaction than they deserve. And when sellers react to them too quickly, they often undo progress that they did not even realize that they had. So let's walk through the three Etsy stats that sellers overreact to the most, what they actually mean, and how to know when something needs attention versus when it should be left alone. So let's start with low visits to one specific listing because this one causes the most long-term damage when you're reacting improperly to it. So you check your stats. One listing has maybe very few visits, maybe zero. And the assumption is that this listing is not doing anything. But Etsy doesn't rank your listings in your shop in isolation. It ranks product lines, which means you will always have a few listings that are pulling most of the traffic. And then on the other hand, other listings that are quietly kind of supporting that visibility. So a low visit listing can still be reinforcing your shop's relevance for certain search terms. It can still be helping Etsy understand what your shop should rank for. It can be strengthening the listings that are actually getting traction. So when sellers delete a listing with low traffic and then see another drop in traffic a week later, they didn't remove a problem, they removed the support for the listings that were already working. So if a listing has low visits, that does not automatically mean that it is failing, that something's wrong with it. It just might mean that it's playing kind of a quieter role in your product line and helping other listings. So it doesn't mean you don't want to edit it or try to help it get more traffic, but you want to do that super carefully. Now let's talk about a stat that maybe feels a little bit more personal, which is when the favorites come, but the sales don't come with it. The conclusion kind of becomes when people are favoriting your listing but not purchasing, that people like it, but they don't want to buy it. And most of the time, that is not what's happening. Favorites can be a visibility signal, right? They can tell you that that listing is being seen and that maybe buyers aren't bouncing from it immediately, which is a good thing that they're considering it, right? But if only a small number of buyers are actually seeing that listing, favorites are not going to convert yet. That's incredibly normal. So when sellers start changing things too fast, like pricing and descriptions, maybe even the product itself, the keywords, the photos, whatever it might be, you might offer coupons or run sales. When none of that is the issue, what's actually missing is enough qualified traffic for that listing to convert. So favorites without sales usually mean keep building visibility, not something is wrong, you need to fix it. And then there's the stat that does not even live on a listing but causes a ton of stress, which is when one slow, quiet day shows up. And I see this all the time from Etsy sellers in communities about, I had a slow day, what should I do? Suddenly everything feels very doom and gloom. I get it. It's frustrating. It's scary. But Etsy sales are influenced by things that you are never, ever going to see in your dashboard. It can be weather changes. Maybe there's a snowstorm or it was a really hot day. It can be news cycles. It can be buyer timing. It can be pay periods, right? Slow days, especially when you just have a couple of them in a row, do not mean that your listings necessarily dropped out of rankings. It doesn't mean necessarily that your SEO stopped working. It does not mean Etsy shut off your shop or that something is wrong. The daily stats from this perspective can actually be more noise than they're worth. The weekly and monthly stats are actually much more helpful in finding the patterns in your stats and finding out what actually matters and what you should be reacting to in your shop. Because even healthy shops will have slow days, and that doesn't mean you need to change everything. Now, all of this raises a very important question, which is if you shouldn't overreact, when should you edit a listing? If a listing truly is not getting traffic, do not panic, delete it. You instead want to assess it really strategically. So here's what I want you to look at. The first thing is this product line complete? If you do not have a full product line, there could be absolutely nothing wrong with that listing, but Etsy isn't seeing you as an authority for those keywords yet. You're not ranking for those keywords yet. 2, are the keywords you are targeting actually being searched by buyers? And 3, are the photos that you're using inviting people in? If your photos do not stop the scroll, you're not going to see traffic to that listing, even if you are ranking. So All of those are when an edit actually makes sense for an individual listing that's not getting traffic in your shop. And what's important to remember here is not all of those are out of reaction, but it's focused on the strategy around how visibility works on a platform like Etsy. After all of this, remember that most Etsy sellers do not need to do more. You often need to do less, but do it more intentionally instead of reacting to signals that you don't even know what they mean. Learning how to interpret your stats correctly is what protects you from killing your momentum like this. If you are struggling with this right now, if you want a second set of really experienced eyes to help you decide exactly what deserves your attention right now, I would love to help you inside one of my one-on-one coaching packages. We will spend the first session reviewing your stats together so you know exactly what to do about them. And then we'll spend the next sessions turning that information into a plan that you can actually follow and stick with, one that leads to steadier traffic and consistent sales. You can apply using the link in the description or by going to sarahjwagner.com/coach. And if you are watching this on YouTube and this video made you rethink how you look at your stats, please let me know in the comments which number you've been paying attention to. I would love to hear from you. If you're listening in your favorite podcast player instead, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and I would love to chat with you there. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.